Wouldn't it be cool if there was a video that showed all the different styles, models, and sizes of Weber kettles? Well, it also showed the features of it, talked about the different ways to use it, and then also showed some of the things you can use with it. And did all that in a decent amount of time. Ready? Go. I'm going to start with the smallest kettle in the lineup, which is the Smokey Joe 14-inch. Now there's two versions of this. There's the original Smokey Joe and then the Smokey Joe Premium. Now, other than about $12, the only difference is the Premium has a handle that also serves as a lid holder when you turn it and rotate it down. This is a very small grill, but it's perfect for on the go, like camping or at the beach, something like that. Holds about 5 burgers, depending on how big you make them, of course. Now, there's, I think, a misconception that says smaller grills are easier to work. I think that's wrong. I think the smaller ones, like the Smokey Joe, take a little more finesse and a little more know-how than a bigger grill. On these grills, you're so close to the charcoal, it can be hard to prevent flare-ups, and there's not a lot of room to create two-zone cooking, which we'll talk about in a little more detail later on. Now, I will share with you guys prices on the Weber Kettle website. So having said that, the price here of the Smokey Joe is, I think, $45.99. Now, the premium version is $57. That is unless you get it in color. There are color options, and if you get them in the color option, they are going to run you $67. Next up are the Jumbo Joe grills, and there's two versions of these. The Jumbo Joe Original and the Jumbo Joe Premium. They run 18 inches and 22 inches respectively. Now, the difference in these two is a little more substantial than the differences in the Smokey Joes. The original Jumbo Joe is similar to the Smokey Joe in that it's close to the ground, but it's 4 inches bigger. The Jumbo Joe Premium gets you a little further off the ground, as you can see, as it has 3 legs and 2 wheels, and even a bigger difference is that it's also another 4 inches bigger than that at 22 inches. Now, the 18-inch Jumbo Joe runs $89, and the 22-inch Jumbo Joe Premium runs $99. Now let's talk about the most common Weber kettles today, the original kettle and the original kettle Premium. Now these grills are 22 inches and have some extra features that we've not mentioned yet. These grills have the one-touch cleaning system, which makes cleaning them out much, much easier. Now, one of the major differences in these two kettles is the ash containment system. In the original kettle you see here, there's an ashtray that ashes fall into when you use the one-touch cleaning system. However, here in the original kettle Premium, you'll notice there's an ash can on the bottom of the kettle. That makes cleanup much, much easier. Speaking from experience, using the ashtray of the original kettle can be dangerous. It's best wait to clean it out until the charcoals have completely extinguished the next day. That way you know they're completely gone out. Now otherwise, the wind can blow and it'll send lit charcoal sparks everywhere. And it's real pretty when it's dark, but can also be very dangerous, of course. Just not safe. I neglected to say there is an 18-inch also version of the original kettle. That 18-inch original kettle runs $119. Now the 22-inch version of the original kettle runs $139, and the 22-inch original kettle Premium runs $219. But again, if you get the Premium in a color, the price does go up to about $240. Now after the original series comes the Master Touch options. The Master Touch comes in both 22-inch and 26-inch as well, but for some reason Weber only carries or sells the 26-inch on their website. The 22-inch is available on Amazon, as well as most retailers that carry stuff like this, Lowe's and Ace, that kind of thing. Now the Master Touch is a definite step up from the original series. Has heavier duty legs, better wheels, uses the ash can containment system strictly. Now this series comes with built-in thermometer in the lid and what they call their gourmet grate, which you see on your screen now. It also includes a lid holder, a warming rack, and the Weber baskets as well. Now the 22-inch runs $275 and the 26-inch runs $459. The 22-inch version is the most popular, of course, but the 26-inch is definitely popular overall. And while the 4 inches doesn't sound like a lot in the difference there's a noticeable amount of more space, so you can cook a lot more food for more people. Hey guys, I want to jump in here real quick and let you know about a free temperature guide I've created for you. It's got beef, pork, chicken, veggies, seafood, all sorts of different stuff. It's got times and temperatures to cook at, when things should be done, the whole 9 yards. Just go back to the description and click on the link to my website, grumpysgreatoutdoors.com. Type in your email address. I'll send it to you right away, free of charge. The next option is the Weber Kettle Performer series. Now there are 3 different models based pretty much on different features when it comes to the Performer series. The original Weber Performer is pretty much just an original Premium with 4 legs, wheels, and a table. Now the table can be pretty handy though, obviously. This Weber Performer 22-inch runs $349. Next is the Performer Premium. Now you'll notice that it also has 4 legs and 4 wheels, but a much bigger table and what looks like a trash can attached. And while you can use it as a trash can, a lot of people do, it's really meant to be a charcoal hopper of sorts. Now this grill is also 22 inches and is also an original kettle premium attached to a table. The Performer Premium runs $4.99. Now lastly in this series is the Weber Performer Deluxe. There are minor differences in appearance, but the biggest difference is the gas assist feature. This feature comes in quite handy, helps you light your charcoal easier, or wood or whatever you're using in your kettle. It does a great job with that. But it's not necessary for a successful cook. It's just the Performance Deluxe 22-inch grill runs $549, but again, if you get one of the colors, the price goes up to $579. Now, talking about cooking for a lot more people, here's the real piece of equipment if you've got a whole lot of people to cook for. This is the Kettle Ranch. It's a 37-inch grill with more than 1,000 inches of grilling space. It's phenomenal. This thing's a beast. This is the sort of grill that's needed at venues or resorts, things like that, where you're cooking for
more than 120. If I was guessing, it'd probably fit another 40 on here.
This thing runs $1,849. Now, we're going to break away from the original kettle shape and talk about the grill called the Weber Smoky Mountain. This device comes in 3 different sizes, 14-inch, 18-inch, and 22-inch. It's intended for smoking and not really so much grilling. The charcoal goes in the bottom of the device while your meat is at the very top. So it's very indirect cooking, or otherwise known as smoking, of course. Now these are very popular devices and they do a great job of smoking meat. That's not to say you can't use an original kettle to smoke with, because that's what I do, and I'll show you how I do that in a little while. But these Smoky Mountain devices do a really good job, and like I said, are very, very popular. The 14-inch runs $279, while the 18-inch runs $419, and the 22-inch runs $549. Now, the last style of grills from Weber that use charcoal that we're going to talk about today are the Summit Kamado grills. These grills are built with double walls, so they are somewhat insulated. This grill runs $1,249, and like I said, its big selling point is the insulated effect that it has on heat retention. They will cook very long with charcoal that will burn very slowly. The other Kamado option is the S6. The S6 has a cart and a tabletop and utilizes gas ignition. This grill runs $2,149. Oh, and these grills do have 24 inches of cooking area, so they hold quite a bit, a little bit more than the 22 inches do. So that wraps up pretty much every charcoal grill that Weber has kettle style. Now, hands down, the most popular grills from Weber are the 22-inch original kettle and the original premium. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'll be showing you function and use using the 22-inch version. I use Performer Deluxe kettles, but the cooking methods and accessories that I use will be usable with any 22-inch grill. So yeah, the kettle is designed to be a grill, but with the efforts of many ingenious people, we've turned it into a smoker as well. And man, does it do a good job. Of course, the convection you get with it is not like the convection you get from what's called an offset smoker. That has the firebox on one end and your exhaust on the other. But now the little bit of convection you do get with it makes this thing smoke really well. Now, the downside to using it as a smoker is its cooking space. Now, it obviously is difficult to fit more than one brisket on there when you're smoking, but you can get lucky at times and get 2 pork butts or even a few racks of ribs. But if you're smoking just for your family or for your family and a few friends, a kettle will work just fine. But to me, this was what makes Weber Kettle such a great device. You can use it as an oven, as a smoker, and as a grill, of course. And like I said, there are a number of devices that you can use with the kettle to help enhance your intended cooking style. Meaning, for example, if you want to use live fire cooking, just use this Santa Maria grill attachment right here, and I will use the Santa Maria grill attachment to make some steaks. Now, this is about as direct heat as you can get. Now, let's check them out. Turn them over and see how they look. Oh, yeah, looking good. Good char. Oh, gosh, yeah. Here I'm using the Vortex to cook what I call directly indirect. And I've only got about 5 or 6 chicken thighs. It's just me, so I'll put those around the grill, on the grate, all the way around. And it'll cook. Now when I put the lid on, the heat in the Vortex comes right in the middle and it domes over and cooks that chicken all around. Very, very fast, very well, very, very hot. 130s, that's great. We're cool. We're in good shape, guys. We got another 30 minutes to go, and that's fantastic. Now, as promised, here's a clip showing how to turn your kettle grill into a smoker. There are 2 different device options, and I'll show you both of them. And I'll put a link in the upper hand corner of your screen to show you that whole video if you want to go see it. Now guys, there are just so many devices and attachments and accessories that to show you how they all work would just take way too long and defeat the purpose of this video. However, I will put links in my description to other videos showing these devices at work. My channel is full of videos using the Weber Kettle. Folks, I love the versatility of the Weber Kettle and all of the accessories that can be used with it. For me, I don't need a standalone Santa Maria cooker, for example. I love the accessory I have for my kettle. I do have offset smokers, of course, which I think make it a little bit better flavor on smoked meats, such as brisket. But the kettle is just so much quicker and easier to set up, and especially if I'm only doing just one brisket. Of course, if I'm doing multiple briskets or multiple butts or a bunch of racks of ribs, I'll utilize the offset smoker. It's a lot of fun to use also, but it's obviously just a smoker, whereas the Weber kettle is a lot more than just a grill. Folks, I hope you got some value out of today's video, and I hope you'll hit the like button to show it. We'd also like to greatly appreciate it if you'd subscribe to our channel. We're starting our second year here on YouTube just now, and look forward to the year ahead. So thanks for your support, and I'll meet you at the smoker.